thank you so much for joining me on another episode of Why I Love Flagler County, your local podcast spotlighting local businesses and local residents on what they love about Flagler County. And today I'm super, super excited to have my guest because who better to talk about Flagler, what's happening in Flagler, what can you do in Flagler than someone like Ashley. So, Ashley, thank you so much for the time today. I really appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Well, Ashley and I have met a few times because she does a lot of great events here in Flagler with a lot of vendors. So a lot of small businesses can open up shop and kind of show Flagler a little taste of what they offer. So we've met a few times through that. And then we recently got connected with one of my friends, Nelson Lopez. He was in town. He mentioned my name, and I was like, I would love to have her. And then I found out I knew her even more. I was like, oh my gosh, this is literally so crazy. So I'm excited to learn a little bit more because I think I know a few things, but it's always great to really hear it, straight from your mouth, the whole story.
Yeah.
So why don't you kick it off? Start really simple. Tell me a little about your journey coming here to Flagler, to Palm Coast, and how's that been?
So we moved to the Palm Coast Flagler area almost 5 years ago. It's a funny story. So we actually all moved down as a family. So it was my grandparents, my husband, my mom, and my daughter. And so my grandmother grew up on a 100-acre farm. And so I've been wanting to live in Florida since I was 10, and we lived in Illinois. And she just never wanted to leave her farm, which I understand. So finally, when I was like, let's go, let's go, let's go, and I convinced them, we didn't know where to go. So we were looking all over Florida. Where should we go? Where should we go? Well, we actually own a timeshare in Ormond. And so my grandpa remembers driving down 95 and seeing a Palm Coast sign. And he said if he's going to Florida, we're going to Palm Coast because he knew the sign and we would at least be able to find a Walmart if we needed to because we know Ormond by the back of our hand because they bought in there in 1984. So it's kind of funny. So it's just one of those things like if we need to go to Walmart, we know where Walmart's at. If we need a Publix, we knew where Publix was at. So yeah, it was kind of him that just picked Palm Coast. So it's definitely different from where I come from. I come from a very small German town. I think we have like 14,000 people in my hometown.
Wow.
Yeah. So this was kind of a shell shock. And of course, coming from a 100-acre farm to living in a subdivision type thing, that's been a big change. So yeah, so it's definitely been different. But I get to meet so many more people and have so many more relationships with people than because there's so many people here than there is back home. So it's definitely been a whirlwind. It's been a complete change, but I love it. I will never leave Florida.
Oh
Oh,
wow. I
yeah.
mean, do you mind me asking what brought you said you've been wanting to live in Florida since you were 10. Is there any specific reason? Did you maybe see something on TV or did you like love
No,
the idea?
when we would come here on vacation, I never wanted to leave. I was like, this is to me, and that's something I've always said, and I still say it today, sunshine changes people.
Yeah.
Sunshine puts people in such a good mood. And we would be vacation for 2 weeks, and I would see it on everybody in my family, like how much happier we were. Now, I get it, they weren't working, but you're just so more relaxed here. And
Yeah.
I knew, and I just kept saying, I want to be in Florida. I want to be in Florida. I belong in Florida. And finally, my grandparents agreed because we're just very close family.
Yeah.
And everybody agrees. Once we moved down here, they're like, why didn't we do this sooner? And I'm like, I
Right.
don't know. Why didn't you listen to me? But
Yeah.
yeah. We're
Yeah.
we're never going back to the freezing ice, the snow when you're trapped in your house. Nope, I'm good. We'll
Yeah.
stay down here. So
Yeah, like I
yeah.
come from the Midwest as well because I'm from Michigan.
Oh
So I
yeah,
know
there you go.
exactly what you're talking about. And
Yeah.
I've been thinking about that too recently because I'm coming up on 2 years down here. And I'm like, like I drive around so much. Like I go to Orlando, I go to Daytona, I have so many
Oh
friends in
yeah.
all of these places. And I'm like, I just don't know if I could be able to have this type of like social life, I guess is the right word, like driving everywhere. If we had to
No.
drive in snow, if I had to account for defrosting my car, you have to go and warm up your car, like you have to shovel. Like I don't think I could do any of that.
Well, then you know too, when you see those gray skies, it just brings you down because you know it's going to be a nasty weather. You're going to be
Yeah,
stuck inside. Like this, I'm telling you, the sunshine does
it
wonders to people.
does.
It really,
Yeah. It's so great. And like even down here in Florida, like we've had a really, I want to say gray winter. It's been a
We
lot
have.
grayer than it has, but like even then, just the thought of knowing that like I don't have to shovel snow in the morning, that
Exactly.
alone like keeps all the negative feelings at bay for at least a while. I'm like, all right, well, I don't
Yeah.
have to go warm up the car. I don't have
Right,
to like worry
right.
about ice. So
I
I
don't have to put
guess
on 5 layers of clothes. I'm good.
five
Yeah.
layers of clothes, and then you go into the
Good.
grocery store, and then you're like hot, and so now you have to take it off, and then you have to go
Uh-huh.
outside, and then you have to put it back
Put it
on.
back
It's like
on.
I can't.
Yes. Yeah. Not many people understand what that's like, but let me
Sorry.
tell you what, it is no
It's
fun. No,
no.
not at all.
Well, we could probably talk about that for a good hour, and we're just gonna be like,
Absolutely.
what are they talking about? But
Yeah.
switching gears just a little bit, I'd love for you to talk a little bit about your store, Serendipity.
Yeah, so Serendipity Marketplace, I opened August 26th. So let me kind of go through my first business
Yeah.
first. So I own Charming Sisters Events. So I am an international event and wedding planner. So I can do events, I can do weddings. I'm also an ordained minister, so I've married couples down here. I've been doing that for going on 14 years now. So back when I lived in Illinois, I did vendor shows. So when I came down here, there really wasn't a lot of shows going on. And so it took me a little bit. I started off super small. I started off having shows at the VFW here, and I quickly did two of those and I outgrew the VFW. So then I'm like, okay, now where do I go? And so I kept growing until I finally got to the Flagler Fairgrounds, which I haven't completely outgrew yet, but I'm getting there. But that's what I do. I put on vendor shows around the area. I also put on fundraisers because I have a secondary in fundraising. And so a lot of times, being a vendor myself, the only complaint I'd ever hear was I'd have to get there early, put all my stuff up, set my stuff out, sit there for a couple hours, and I gotta tear it down. It'd be so nice to have a place that I don't have to do that. And so I kept hearing that. And again, that was like the only complaint I kept hearing was, I just wish I could keep my stuff up. And when I would hear that, it reminded me of a store back home that kind of had something like this. And so I kind of talked it over with my family and I said, why can't I do that? So it took a while to find the store that I did find. I looked at so many different places, almost signed the lease on one, and I'm so thankful that I did not. And then I found the perfect place. So that's pretty much what Serendipity is. It's kind of a tail off of Charming Sisters events. So Serendipity is a local marketplace. I have currently 62 working into 64 this week, local vendors that have their handmade items and products set up in the store all the time. So they don't have to tear it down at the end of a show or at the end of 4 to 5 hours. It is here, it is all the time. And I love when people come in and, I had an event on Saturday, our Easter event, and they thought it was just a one time. Nope, it's here all the time. And they get so excited. So, like I said, right now there's 62 vendors. We have jewelry, we have licorice, we have freeze-dried candy, we have cookies, we have clothing, candles, local coffee. I mean, we have so much different stuff in here. It's unbelievable.
Oh my gosh.
Unbelievable.
And where are you guys located?
We're at 5 Commercial Court. It's 32137. So if you are on Old Kings Road and you are going south, and you will pass Cracker Barrel and all those hotels on your right, you go around the corner and there's the big strip mall that's got like Stoner's Pizza in it and the pet spa. You will turn onto Utility Drive. You'll go down not quite a mile, and on the left you'll see Commercial Court, and I have a little sign there. And then you'll come and you'll see my big sign for our
Oh my
building back here.
gosh. That's so cool. And I'm so glad, that they are connected and you were able to go through that whole story because I did want to talk about Charming Sisters events.
Yeah,
And it comes up so naturally. I'm like,
and it
perfect.
does.
There
And
you
a
go.
lot of my vendors that are in here are my vendors from my shows because I'm like,
Yeah.
I heard you. I heard you saying it and I did it. And so I think out of this 62, there might be only 4 that aren't my normal
Yeah, that's
vendors, which
so
is
great
awesome.
that you're able to, because I know of like, I've been to like a lot of the downtowns, right? Like when you go to like downtown, like Nashville, like is what I'm
Yeah,
thinking of. Like there's a bunch of places like that where they have like small little places, small little shops, small little booths
right.
of different businesses. And it's so great because, having a storefront is expensive. Running a storefront is expensive.
Yes.
when you're a small business and you just need a few sales kind of every day, because
Yes.
maybe it's a side hobby or maybe for whatever reason, like it's just very new and you just don't have the money for a storefront. This is a perfect option. And also for like us new people to Flagler, it's such a great introduction into everything that Flagler has to offer, or a small taste of what Flagler has to offer. Because
Absolutely.
62 businesses, I mean, you're not going to go to a strip mall and go into every single business, right? But it's
No.
all in one place. There you
Right.
go. You get to meet so many great people, which I've
Right.
met so many great people at your events. So I'd love for you to talk really quick about the events coming up. How can maybe people attend? Maybe how can people
Yeah.
get a booth? Anything like that.
Absolutely. So whether it's a booth or to do like one of my vendor shows or to potentially get into the store, you can always find me on Facebook. Personally, I'm fine with you messaging me personally. Charming Sisters Events LLC has a page, and so does Serendipity Marketplace. And I am the only one that will get on and that will answer. So any of those three ways, you're going to get me, and I'm really fast about answering. So my first vendor event will be June 1st out at the Flagler Fairgrounds. I am partnering with Linda Daring. We are going to um, take collections up until then of food products. And on that day, the money raised, we're going to go and we're going to fill Grace Food Pantry. Their shelves are kind of getting a little bare. And so, whatever we can do to fill it up, because again, the people that are getting the food are from our community. So
Yeah.
again, we are helping each other out. So that's June 1st. So if you would like to become a vendor for that, please just reach out. And my other one, my biggest show out of the whole year, I always do Small Business Saturday out at the Flagler Fairgrounds. This past year, we had 212 vendors out there.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's huge. People get a lot of their Christmas shopping done. So this year is November 30th. So again, if you would like to do that, go ahead and message me and we can get you signed up for that. But yeah, or if you would like to come in the store and be part of the store, again, reach out either one of those ways and I'd love to talk about getting you in the store as well.
Perfect. So I'll make sure I have all the information as long as, with Ashley's address and then the Facebook account and whatever ways people might want to reach out. I'll have that in the description so people can click on that just a little bit easier.
Perfect.
So Ashley, thank you so much for the time today. I really
You're
appreciate
welcome.
it. You have just such a great story. And I mean, we have so much in common just being from the Midwest alone. It's like this instant bond. Like we know
Yeah,
the pain, we were there. So
that's
it's like
right.
the bond we build is so much stronger.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, so thank you so much for the time. It's so cool.
You're
And I've
welcome.
been to so many of your events and they are like you do an amazing job. I've been to so
Oh,
many events in my
thank you.
entire life and you do an amazing job of running yours. So
Thank you.
huge hats off. It's not easy at all.
It's not.
I
No,
hope everyone knows like it is hard work
it
getting
is,
people
especially when you
signed
have
up.
that many. Yes.
Yes, it's like hard to
Yes.
monitor, but
Yeah.
you always have great booths. They're always great people. So you do an
Thank
amazing
you.
job. So thank you so much for the
Definitely
time.
check out the store.
Yes, I will. I will come over very soon. So thank you
Definitely.
again. And to everyone
You're
listening, I
welcome.
really appreciate you as well. And I will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.